Building collapse in Lagos, shots fired over the Gaza Strip, missiles and airstrikes happening, as well as building collapses and New Zealand. Let's talk about that right now. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy CB here. I wanted to try to start this thing called World News, and there isn't a better week to do this, so I can kind of lay out some of these things that have been happening in the world. There are 4 stories that I'm going to cover in this video and just try to give a little bits of pieces of information about these stories and try to update as I possibly can and give the best news that's out there right now. This has been a busy week in the news, and unfortunately there's a lot of lives being lost as well. Getting right into this, the first story that I want to cover is a building collapse on Lagos Island. Right now, there are 20 people confirmed dead in that building collapse, mostly children. As you read the news and you go through the article, you start to find that this building that apparently collapsed was put on the demolition list at least 3 times in its most recent history and was never demolished, obviously. This building housed a school and some other offices, and when it collapsed, school was in session. And a lot of those 20 lives, as I said before, were children that are now gone. People talking to CNN about the condition on Lagos Island around here and this building collapse say that there are many other buildings that are like this on the island, the infrastructure is just crumbling. They're not rebuilding. They're not making these buildings safe. And it's sad. So the rescue efforts, they ended on Thursday. The site was in a densely populated area of Idefia on the Lagos Island after officials said that there were no more survivors that they could find. That was on Thursday after 3 days of searching. Story number 2, a Boeing 737 MAX crashed in Ethiopia. The flight was part of Ethiopia Airlines. 737 MAX is part of Boeing's new lineup of carriers. As has been reported in the news over the last couple days now, all the 737 MAXs have been grounded. They're no longer allowed to fly. They're no longer allowed to carry passengers. This marks the second crash of a 737 MAX, one with Lion Airways, now one with Ethiopia. What's strange about this is the plane actually went down 5 minutes after it went into the air. Tower controllers said that the pilot contacted them in a very calm voice and said that he was having issues and was asking to return home, which back to the runway. But they said they also noticed an unsafe increase in speed. So we really don't know what happened. The details haven't come out from the black boxes quite yet and the diagnostics from the plane, but they did say the plane increased speed and then it was oscillating up and down in the air by hundreds of feet. Hundreds of feet oscillating up and down. I can only imagine what those people on board that flight had to go through, and all 157 passengers lost their lives. I really don't know what to say. That's a lot of broken hearts out there, and I'm hoping that they come to an answer. Boeing Airlines stated that they were trying to come up with a software update for these planes that was supposed to be out by April. In my opinion, too little, too late. One plane down is too many, especially when you're talking about the safest way to travel right now is in the air. And then you hear something like this. Boeing's got to step up. They got to do better than that. They got to make it right. Number 3, Thursday night over the Gaza Strip towards Tel Aviv and Israel, there was 2 rockets fired from Hamas. Israel's air defense did take those rockets out in the air, but Israel also retaliated, hitting over 100 sites on the Gaza Strip with airstrikes the next day, which would be today, Friday. Over 100 sites struck by airstrikes from Israel and Israel's Navy as they retaliated. This is the biggest non-ceasefire moment since 2014 on the Gaza Strip. There's always been quarrels there and there's always been tension, so this just kind of raised it up another level. Although Hamas is saying that those rockets were launched by accident while they were performing routine maintenance on them. And Israel's defense force kind of figured this out too late in the game, however, still responded with airstrikes and retaliation. Right now, they are under a ceasefire accord that was kind of brokered by Egypt. So this is kind of a tense situation as well. The Middle East has kind of always been a hotbed around that area. So more to come, but just to update, Hamas says it was an accident. Israel still retaliated. Right now there's a ceasefire. We'll see what happens. The late breaking news that came out late last night into this morning, Friday, in New Zealand, there were shootings at 2 mosques in central Christchurch, New Zealand. Tally tolls right now, there are 49 dead, many more injured. This was carried out by a white nationalist extremist who posted a racist manifesto and streamed live on Facebook the actual assault on one of the mosques. Facebook didn't catch it in time, so it did broadcast. I have not seen it. I do not wish to see it. I would not give credence to this person, and I hope that he gets what's coming to him. Although I do know in the manifesto there were a lot of names dropped, I believe in the attempt to create a rift in the geopolitical realm in the world. I know he mentioned the popular YouTuber PewDiePie by name. I know he mentioned Candace Owens, who is a right-wing conservative voice. I know he mentioned Donald Trump in the manifesto, and I think all these were definite ploys in trying to create some rift, something to say, look what's happening. Kind of a lot of what's going on these days when we're kind of finger pointing and doing some different things with the political realm. The Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, described the assault as an extraordinary and unprecedented act of violence and promised changes in New Zealand's gun laws. I don't know what exactly the changes entail. I know that New Zealand is right by Australia, and Australia is a no-gun zone. For what I understand as well, the shooter is Australian. You have 49 people that have lost their lives senselessly. My heart breaks for all these lives. I wish all the families love and healing. I hope in time they get the answers that they're looking for, and I hope that they find peace in the world moving forward. I don't really know what to say past that. I don't really know what's happening in the world. I know a lot of lives are being lost senselessly, and I don't really get it. All I can hope is that as a people, as a nation, as a world, globally, we stand up and we fight against these radical extremists. I don't care what politics you believe in. I don't care what side of the house. I don't care if you don't like Trump. I don't care if you're Republican or liberal. I don't care if you support Brexit or not. None of that matters. What matters is these human lives. At the end of the day, I'm team human, regardless. And there's a lot of people that lost their lives. And to the families, I wish you love and I wish you peace. Thank you.